following equations represents all vertical asymptotes of f of x equals 6 secant x minus pi over 2. Vertical asymptotes exists when the denominator of a fraction equals 0. So it would make sense to me that maybe I should take secant and change it. So I could draw this out or write this out as f of x equals 6 times 1 over cosine, because secant is 1 over cosine, x minus pi over 2. Again, what gets me vertical asymptotes? Whenever the denominator is undefined. So I want to find out when cos x minus pi over 2 equals 0. 6 has no effect. 6 just gives me height. It doesn't tell me anything about the vertical asymptotes. So if I have cosine of x minus pi over 2 equals 0, and I want to get x all by itself. Since I have cosine of stuff, right away I can inverse cosine both sides. So I'm going to inverse cosine both sides, bada bing, and that leaves me with x minus pi over 2 equals whatever the inverse cosine of 0 is. So cosine is x, so what degrees give me an x value of 0? 2 of them, pi over 2 and 3 pi over 2. So I'm going to solve these for two different equations. I have x minus pi over 2 equals my one option, pi over 2. And I have x minus pi over 2 equals my other option, 3 pi over 2. Add pi over 2, add pi over 2, and a half a pi plus a half a pi gives me a whole pi. Sounds delicious. That's one option. My other option is to do the same exact process, add pi over 2, and 3 pi over 2 plus pi over 2 is going to be 4 pi over 2, which is 2 pi. Now here, it's asking me to find all of them. So technically I have pi plus 2k, where k is any integer, and 2 pi plus 2k, which k is any integer, because you always add 2k's to it. And if you're wondering, I'm sorry, 2 pi k, oh boy, would that change everything. Now, what that means is I have options like pi, and 2 pi, and 3 pi, and 4 pi, and so on, so on, so on. So basically, how can I write that out? Well, if I wanted to, I could take 2 pi and just keep adding a pi, add a pi, add a pi, add a pi, add a pi. Now, if you're like, well, what about pi? Well, k is any integer, which means it could be -1, -2, -3. So all of these will work. So A is going to be my guy because all of these are only focused on adding 2 pi instead of regular pi. So, we had to word the answer differently than maybe what we're used to, but the numbers are convenient enough where we can make A our selection. Hope this helps.